Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a play from the Jacobean era. And this one is called The New Academy, or The New Exchange. And we're going to...
Interesting title.
It is a very interesting title. And it's a comedy, so we're going to get into some of that stuff. But I think this is a really interesting play because it gives us a look into... London life in the early 1600s and a lot of the anxieties of that time.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. This is definitely a play that really captures that kind of societal anxiety.
And so upward mobility.
Of, family drama.
Of keeping up with the Joneses, essentially. And it all really centers around this one character, Machill, who is just dealing with a chaotic family.
Yeah, so let's introduce his family. So
Machill is a wealthy merchant.
Okay.
He's recently received news that his son has died in France.
Oh, wow. But as we find out pretty quickly, there's a little bit more to that story.
Okay.
He also has a daughter, Joyce, who is very rebellious.
Okay.
And then he has a sister named Lady Nestlecock.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
A Lady Nestlecock. This is going to be good.
Who is determined to climb that social ladder at no matter the cost.
Okay, yeah.
She's got her son Nehemiah, who
Yep.
she's trying to marry off to a wealthy heiress.
Got it.
Even though Nehemiah, as is kind of hinted at in the play, is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
So we've got this grieving father, we've got a rebellious daughter, and a social climbing aunt.
All under one roof.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so it's definitely a recipe for some really great
Yeah.
comedic clashes.
And like you said, this is Jacobean London, so
Yeah.
appearances are everything.
Absolutely. So you can understand why someone like Lady Nestlecock
Right.
is so concerned with making sure that her family is
Yes.
in good standing
Okay, yeah.
in a society that
Yeah, this makes perfect sense. This tracks
value status so highly. It's only natural that you're going to have some characters that are just
totally
super focused on
so focused on it.
that.
And it's not just Lady Nestlecock either.
No, it's not.
We also have Machill's new wife, Rachel. Now,
Yeah.
Rachel was formerly his maid, and she is not shy about her newfound status.
Not at all.
And there's this great line where she actually tells Lady Nestlecock,
Yeah.
the droil, which is an old word for servant girl, is now your brother's wife, madam, as good a woman as yourself.
That's such a great line.
It's such a good line. What do you...
It really highlights the power dynamics at play here.
Yeah.
And I think Rachel's quick wit is a reminder that even within these
Yeah.
seemingly rigid social structures, individuals can still find ways to assert themselves.
And it's almost like she's saying, like, don't underestimate me just because of where I come from.
Absolutely. And I think
I mean, imagine going from a maid to
power move, for sure.
to the lady of the house. Like, that's a huge jump. And, not everyone's going to be happy about it.
Especially not Lady Nestlecock.
Right. Especially not Lady Nestlecock.
But it really adds this interesting layer of complexity to Machill's situation.
Yeah.
He's dealing with grief and rebellious children.
Yeah.
But now he also has these power struggles within his own
household. Yeah.
So it's
complicated.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
To say the least.
But if you thought that was complicated, there's more.
There's always more.
We haven't even introduced Machill's brother, Strygood.
Oh, yeah.
No, Strygood is,
Strygood.
he's trouble.
He is. I think Strygood is where we really see the playwright's darker humor shining through. He's an opportunist.
Okay.
And he really highlights the potential for corruption and the pursuit of wealth and status.
Okay.
And he comes up with this scheme to sell Joyce and a young French girl named Gabriella into prostitution.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is,
It's a pretty-
it uses the dark.
It's a pretty out there scheme.
Yeah, for a comedy.
Yeah, even for a comedy.
Yeah, so what is this telling us about, like, the system?
I think to a certain ruthlessness that was present beneath this veneer of respectability.
Got it.
And I think Strygood's success in deceiving others really highlights the vulnerability of those seeking social mobility. They were easy targets for exploitation.
Yeah.
Especially those who were new to the city or unfamiliar with its darker undercurrents.
Yeah. I mean, this is...
You gotta watch your back.
You gotta watch your back in Jacobean London, for sure.
Yeah.
And so Strygood, he doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He establishes what he calls a new academy.
Right.
And it's supposedly a school for fashionable arts.
Yes.
But
it's all a front.
it's a front for his shady dealings.
Shady dealings.
So what do you make of this new academy?
Well, I think it's such a brilliant satirical device. It allows the playwright to really poke fun at this obsession with appearances and the lengths that people would go to appear fashionable and sophisticated.
Okay.
And remember, this was a time when London was experiencing this rapid growth and change.
Yeah.
With all these new trends and ideas coming in from the continent.
So Strygood is like capitalizing on this thirst for novelty.
Absolutely.
And using it to mask his own corrupt intentions.
Precisely.
And it feels like a pretty accurate commentary on how appearances can be deceiving.
Oh, yeah?
Especially in a city like London where everybody's trying to climb that social ladder and get ahead.
Yeah, you can't always trust what you see on the surface.
Right. You have to look a little deeper.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we're going to see play out in this play in some really interesting ways.
I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, me too.
This will be fun.
So let's take a closer look at this new academy.
All right, let's dive in.
And see what's really going on behind those closed doors.
Sounds good to me.
It's like this exclusive club, right?
It is. It's like this exclusive club where you can go and...
Brewery Academy.
Yeah, you can go and pretend to be something that you're not.
Right.
And it's interesting, too, because the play is called The New Academy, or The New Exchange.
Right.
And The New Exchange was an actual place.
Oh, really?
In London, at the time, it was this bustling marketplace that was known for its luxury goods.
Oh, wow.
Fashionable crowds.
So the play is like making this connection between this real-world marketplace
I think so.
and Strygood's fake academy.
It's drawing this parallel between these two spaces where appearances are everything.
Right.
And where, individuals might be willing to compromise their values
Right.
in pursuit of social advancement.
Yeah, and it's not just the Londoners who are caught up in this whole thing.
No.
We also have two young French gentlemen.
Yes, Papillion and Galliard.
Papillion and Galliard.
They come to London,
Okay.
and they are immediately taken in by Strygood's deception. They believe that Joyce and Gabriella are available for purchase.
Wait, they think they can just buy these women.
Well, remember, this is a comedic play,
Okay.
and the playwright is using satire here
Okay.
to expose the absurdity of
Yeah.
certain social customs and beliefs.
So they're kind of like these naive outsiders.
They're these naive outsiders who are easily duped
Okay.
by the allure of wealth and beauty.
Okay, so it's a commentary on how easy it is to be misled by appearances.
Absolutely, especially if you're new to a place
Right.
and unfamiliar with the way things really work.
But I'm still a little confused about this whole buying women thing.
Right.
Can you give us a little more context on that?
Sure. So you have to remember that social norms and values were very different back then.
Okay.
Women's roles were largely confined to the domestic sphere,
Okay.
and marriages were often arranged for economic or social gain.
So it's like, while it might seem shocking to us now,
Right.
this idea of buying a woman...
It wasn't entirely out of the realm of possibility back then.
Yeah, okay.
Dowries were a very real thing.
Right.
Social connections were incredibly important.
So the play's using this exaggerated scenario to kind of highlight those power imbalances
I think so.
between men and women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to really satirize this commodification of women
Okay.
within a marriage market that was so obsessed with money and status.
So there are a lot of traps for the unwary.
Oh, for sure. Especially for women.
Right.
You really had to be careful who you trusted.
Yeah. But amidst all this chaos and deception,
Yes.
we do have one character who seems to be a little more grounded,
Thankfully, yes.
and that's Machil's apprentice, Cash.
Cash is great.
Now Cash is running around
Yeah.
trying to uncover Strygood's plot.
Trying to save the day.
Yeah, and reunite Machil with his children. So,
He's a fascinating character because he's not your typical hero.
okay.
He's very much embedded in this world of fashion and gaming.
Okay.
He even squanders some of Machil's money at one point,
Oh, wow.
but ultimately he retains this sense of loyalty and morality,
Okay.
and he wants to do the right thing.
So he's like the streetwise underdog who
Yeah.
sees through all the facades.
Absolutely. He knows how to navigate
Yeah.
the city's underbelly.
Right, and his knowledge is what allows him to really unravel all these schemes.
He sees what others don't.
And it's through his efforts
Yes.
that we get the biggest revelation of the play,
Right. The big twist.
the big twist.
It turns out that Papillion and Galliard
Okay.
are actually Machil's long-lost sons.
What?
Yeah.
The sons that he thought were dead
The sons that he thought were dead,
are not only alive,
alive and well,
but about to marry
and courting their sister.
their sister.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this play just keeps getting wilder.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is a lot to unpack. So what do you think this twist?
Well, I think it adds this layer of dramatic irony
Okay.
that's so typical of Jacobean comedy. But I also think it speaks to the fragility of social constructs
Okay.
and the unpredictable nature of fate. It really underscores the play's themes of mistaken appearances
Yeah.
and the dangers of blindly trusting surface impressions.
Yeah, we see this throughout the whole play.
Constantly.
Characters are misjudging each other.
Based on their clothes, their accents,
Right.
their social standing.
And then this revelation just throws all of that out the window.
Yeah, it throws it all into question.
So it's like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Right.
And it also forces the characters and us as the audience
Right.
to confront the complexities of family relationships.
Yeah.
You know, it challenges our assumptions about identity and belonging.
Yeah, these young men have grown up thinking they're French.
Right. Completely different culture.
Yeah, and then suddenly they're not.
And suddenly they're not.
Yeah.
And they have these blood ties.
It makes you wonder
It does.
how much of our identity is shaped by circumstance
Right.
versus biology.
Yeah, nature versus nurture.
Yeah, but how does this all get resolved?
Right, because we've got this tangled web
This tangled web.
of relationships.
And everyone seems to be caught in a mess of their own making.
Well, with the truth out in the open, the marriages are pretty quickly nullified, which, averts a major scandal.
Yeah, that would be.
And then, of course, new, more appropriate pairings are formed.
Okay.
And the play ends on this note of reconciliation and, newfound happiness.
So a classic comedic ending.
Yeah, a classic comedic resolution. Order is restored.
Right.
Social harmony is reestablished.
But even with this happy ending,
Yeah.
I feel like the play leaves us with some lingering questions.
I think you're right. It's not as simple.
Right.
Everything's tied up in a neat little bow.
Right.
It really invites us to consider, the compromises that individuals make in pursuit of their desires.
Yeah.
And that delicate balance between tradition and innovation.
Yeah.
In a society that's really grappling with these huge transformations.
Yeah, it's like a snapshot of a society in flux, caught between the old world and the new,
Absolutely.
just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, trying to find this footing.
And even though it's set in the 1600s, I can see how these themes still resonate today.
Oh, absolutely.
No?
The play's humor and social commentary, I think it transcends time.
Yeah, think about our own world.
Right.
With, social media and the pressure to keep up with the latest trends.
It's constantly evolving.
Yeah, this desire for social mobility, the allure of new experiences, that tension between tradition and innovation. I mean, these are all things that we still deal with.
Yeah, we're still grappling with these same questions.
It's amazing how a play written over 400 years ago
I know, it's incredible.
can still hold up a mirror to our own lives.
Yeah.
We might not be navigating arranged marriages and fake academies,
Right.
but the anxieties about status and identity and belonging are still there.
Those are universal.
They're universal,
Yeah.
and that's what makes this play so powerful.
And I think that's the power of satire.
Yeah,
It uses humor
right.
to expose the absurdity of human behavior, but it also invites us to reflect on our own values,
Yeah.
our own choices.
So the new academy is reminding us to be wary of superficiality,
Absolutely.
to question our motivations,
Yeah.
and to seek out genuine connection
Yes, in the midst of all the chaos.
in the midst of all the chaos.
Universal change.
It's a reminder that true fulfillment comes from within,
I love that.
not from chasing after trends.
Yeah, or trying to fit into someone else's mold.
Right, be yourself.
Yeah, embrace your individuality.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important message.
So this has been a really fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've explored family drama, social satire, even a touch of romance,
It's got it all.
all within this hilarious play.
It's a wild ride.
It's a wild ride. So what do you think is like the most important takeaway from the new academy?
I think for me, it's that reminder that appearances can be deceiving
Yeah.
and that true worth lies in character,
Mm-hmm.
not in social standing or material possessions.
Yeah. I think that's a really important message, especially in today's world.
Absolutely.
We're bombarded with images and messages telling us who to be, what to buy, how to look.
It's easy to get caught up in all of that.
It is so easy to get caught up in all that.
Yeah.
So the next time you find yourself feeling that pressure, remember the new academy.
Right.
Remember to ask yourself, am I chasing something real? Or am I just trying to keep up appearances?
That's a great question to ask yourself.
It is something to ponder.
Yeah.
So until next time,
Happy exploring.
happy exploring, everyone.